Welcome to Tone Up Tuesday. I apologize for being a little bit late. I run this little multi-system through the internet and the Wi-Fi, and it decided to act up a few minutes before my broadcast. Today we're going to cover some tips. I want to talk about core. Everybody asks about core. Your reasons for wanting to target core are going to vary greatly. Most of us think, I'm going to work core, I'm going to tone that six-pack, get rid of the love handles. For a lot of people, I would refer to that as a toning exercise where, you're within 10, 15, 20 pounds of that body weight where you want to be, and you're just trying to make those muscles pop or give yourself some definition. That would be one reason that we're doing core exercises. But I would say for the vast majority of folks I'm speaking with, there's a deficiency. Maybe it's a low back issue because you sit at a desk too long. Maybe you've got a medical concern and it's hard for you to do traditional exercises that would target that area of the body. So one of the cool things about a vibration machine, even in a standing position, is you're kind of always destabilizing the core. Whether you're using a pivotal or a vertical style platform, it kind of forces your body into that environment of stabilization. If your balance is poor, you're dealing with vertigo, things where, this type of an environment, just standing is going to be a good starting point. If you're wanting to target core muscles, we're going to go over some exercises today for the baseline and above, assuming that you can do some fitness activities. If you're below baseline dealing with medical concerns, we're going to do some other sessions on how to target the core medically, but today is more targeted towards fitness. So we're going to start up with a bit of a warm-up today. I've got it on my computer here, and I want you to warm up with your traditional pelvic tilts as we always do. I'm not going to completely be on camera here perfect today, but I was trying to get some of the angles for the upper body stuff that I'm doing. If you're on a pivotal platform, I want you to start with a frequency, just a warm-up of about 11 to 12, maybe 13 hertz. If you're on a vertical platform, I want you at a 30 to 35 hertz setting. If you have an adjustable amplitude or intensity on your vertical platform, just set it to low. The whole purpose of this exercise is to warm up the body as a whole. The core is really anywhere from above the knees to up in the armpits and everything in between. So if you do spend a lot of time sitting, we're going to be doing some plank work today. A couple of pelvic tilts are always my fave to warm up. I will condense that and move on to the next exercise. The next exercise is going to be a squat. For those of you looking at, a lot of us want to lose weight in our core. Losing weight is a little bit of a different equation than a toning exercise being your goal. With weight loss, it's more about burning calories, losing some of that fat that's accumulated on our body. And the best way to do that is with the biggest group of muscles in your body. So I would encourage progressing to some squats. To hear my voice a little bit better on camera, I'm going to keep my frequency set at low. On my pivotal, I'm no more than hip width apart. Unless you are training athletically and a little bit more ability, you can widen up those feet. If you like on your vertical platform, bring it up to 35 to the 40 hertz range. And if you've been exercising on your machine for some time, bring the intensity up on that vertical platform now as well. I've suggested in the outline today dynamic squats. If you do have the ability, the knees are okay, low back's fine, not a lot of intensity, just very slow dynamic movement, not standing up so you feel it so much in the head. Whether you're on a vertical or a pivotal platform, by keeping those knees slightly bent, you're going to minimize the vibration to the head. It is not harmful, but we tend to guard and protect and resist, and so just keep the knees slightly bent for those squats. And we're going to move on now to some core exercises. Now, for your core exercises on a pivotal platform, it's not about going 100 miles an hour. It is about, destabilizing the core and your body stabilizing itself in this environment. On a vertical platform, keep your intensity low if you're just starting out. Put your frequency range at the 30 to 35 hertz range. We're going to use a pivotal platform today, and we're going to focus on a crunch to start off with. Is that what I said? Yeah, we're going to start off with a crunch. With a vertical style platform, you can sit anywhere in the surface, but I recommend that you sit towards the middle, depending on the type of crunch variations you may want to do. On a pivotal style platform, there's two ways that you can sit to do a crunch. If you're sitting in the middle, simply down in the same fashion, left-right movement as you are in your squats, you're going to feel a slight movement from side to side. And if you're just starting out, You shouldn't be able to talk too fluidly if you're doing this properly. But what I want you to do is have a nice straight spine, and you're just going to sit yourself back until you feel those muscles engaged. If you feel like you got to lift or turn your head, you're going too low. Okay? Now, if you are a little bit more conditioned, you can slowly raise the legs into the equation. I'm a little close to the wall for what I'd like to do here today. Okay? And you're going to, by lifting the legs, the key with a crunch, there's a group of muscles in your abdominals, if that's what we're trying to target. And the sit-up, the crunch part, the V is kind of from the belly button up. But by engaging and adding the legs to the equation, you start feeling those abs below the belly button, the mummy tummy, as we might call it. If you're working on a pivotal style platform, or depending on the style or shape of your vertical platform, this is one exception where you can turn sideways on a machine. And what you would do on your pivotal style is just start with your bum dead center in the middle. If you want more movement, more destabilization, move your body more this way or that way. And again, you can lift and do things like this. Okay? Crunches are not my favorite exercise for targeting the core. If you do have low back issues, neck issues, if you haven't worked with a trainer and had some proper guidance just on how to do a crunch properly, you engage in an environment that makes it more challenging, and the technique tends to go out the window. So I prefer, if you are starting core exercises for the first time, I like planks. Planks are going to encompass more muscle groups. You're going to burn more calories if your goal is weight loss. And depending on your range of motion, any deficiency, sometimes planks are hard for people. I'm not a big fan of forearms on the machine if you do your planks sort of traditionally like this on the floor. I prefer putting my feet on the machine to start. And if you have the ability, more bang for your buck, come up onto those forearms, give the upper body some more activity. If you like doing your traditional plank where your arms are down on the ground, you can start something like this. Okay? Now, I think I just ran out of time. No, I hit the button. On a pivotal style platform, the more destabilization you want is by widening your feet. So if you want more shake, widen up your foot position. Bring your feet a little bit closer. You control the intensity of the movement. On your vertical style platform, you can set your frequency, keep it low, 30 to 35. I'm just doing this on a balance speed of about 6 to 8, maybe 10 hertz. Again, it's just about that destabilization. If you want a little bit more cardio, a little bit more calorie burn, I like to do dynamic planks. If you have a bad back, I'm going to show you a variation next, but if you've been exercising for some time and you do planks regularly, you want to encompass a little bit more upper body, I would suggest something like this. There's a bazillion plank variations. Go online, Google plank variations. Again, a vibration machine is simply an environment in which it's going to push you to fatigue faster, going to give you more benefit in some cases. For those of you that are dealing with a low back, looking at me, I can't do that because my back sucks. I can't hold my body weight up without wrenching it. That is a risk of doing a traditional plank. What you can do, if you're just starting out, turn your body around and start looking at the ceiling. So you're going to lift. This is going to be a little bit more glutes, and your abs are helping lift you versus hold you up in the other direction. So come down on those forearms. Put your feet wide if you're on a pivotal platform, whatever's comfortable if you're on vertical, and lift. I should probably be talking to this camera more, right? Okay. I prefer forearms. If you've got shoulder issues, you might find in this position it's a little bit challenging. And if you're not working out regularly, this might be a bit of a bridge variation. You can just lift your bum up off the ground as a starting point. For those of you that don't have the back issues, and I still want to do the plank, but by the time I get myself into the position, I'm completely done already. Take some of the body weight out of the equation. Put a mat on your machine. Depending on the surface of your machine, you may need a mat just for padding for the toes. For this position, if you're wearing running shoes, the shoes are going to give you grip, but I tend to work out in socks or bare feet. So plank variation, if I'm just starting out, I've never done one on the floor my whole life, maybe that's a good place to start practicing. But to take the body weight out of the equation, back up and start with your knees on the platform and just hold yourself up in this fashion. You know what I mean? You don't want to cheat and have your bum so high up in the air that you're not actually engaging the abs, but bring yourself down to a point, kind of resting the knees and the shins on the machine, and you'll feel the calf or the abdominal muscles engage. As you become stronger, you know, just bring more and more body away from the machine till you get to the point where you're on your toes. Okay? So just a quick recap. Core exercises again. The big thing I like to stress is you're not going to burn 100 calories a second doing crunches and planks and things like that. You know, if you're targeting more that toning, physique, you know, formed body, you want those muscles popping. You know, some of the exercises that you may be doing now to look that way could be attempted on this platform here. Crunches, if you don't do crunches regularly, you know, look up some exercise videos online. You know, if perhaps you have a trainer in your area or a friend that exercises regularly. But you want to make sure that you're keeping a good straight spine. There's a bazillion variations. Keep it simple and short, and you know, you don't have to have a vibration machine to do some of these exercises on the floor at home. The last variation again was planks. I love planks. Planks offer a wider range of muscle groups. I do a lot of planks with my clients dealing with low back issues. My new mom's dealing with pelvic floor concerns. So planks are going to burn more calories. They're going to, you know, strengthen more of the core as a whole. I showed you one variation today if you wanted to bring up some cardio, but there's a bazillion dynamic plank variations. The biggest thing with core that I want to touch on, and it's hard when I'm doing this on camera, is breathing. You know, breathing is a very, very critical component to being successful with core exercises, and you know, it's going to increase your time to fatigue and your effectiveness, your, you know, oxygenation of the blood while you're doing those exercises. A lot of my clients that have taken yoga or Pilates training classes, you know, are very effective in their core exercises on the machine because, you know, the postural awareness, the breathing basics are there. So if, you know, if you're struggling with exercise at the gym, at home on your machine, or even on the floor, you know, breathing, you know, just looking up some breathing exercises online, learn how to use that diaphragm that in your core to effectively increase the effectiveness of your workout. Thank you for letting me rabble today. Again, warm up those legs, do a couple of squats if your goal is long-term weight loss. And that's a few variations that we've covered for today. If you have any specific core exercises that you'd like me to break down a little bit, regardless of what platform you're using, drop it in the comments today, and I'll get back to those on you with answers over the next couple of days. We will focus on other core sessions, more medically based, where maybe you don't have the range of motion. You know, maybe you got a bum knee or a condition that doesn't allow you to get down on the ground and take advantage of some of these exercises. Perhaps you're unable to bear your own weight for long periods. So we'll get into some basics of how you target those in other sessions and get to these that we did today. Thank you for joining us, and enjoy your Tuesday.